chapel speaker today is Erik. He will be introduced by Michael Pack. Sorry, Michael. I'm sorry, Michael. And Emily Cherry. And I think we're going to do something a little different today. Erik wants to do the web school or the fight song. Yes. And he's going to lead us. So please rise for the fight song.
We're doing the fight song. And I have to lead it. Alright, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Let's go get 'em. Go get 'em. Go. Let's go carry down the line. Leaving all the rest behind. Let's go get 'em. Go. Let's go get 'em. Go. Let's fight, fight, fight for victory. Show that fighting hard. That fighting hard. When you find you're on the spot, give it everything you got. Show that fighting hard. That fighting hard. Let's fight, fight, fight for victory.
Morning. In the early 50s, there was a television show called This Is Your Life. And during that time, it was a huge success. And according to a very reputable online encyclopedia program called Wikipedia, the way the show worked was the host would surprise someone, usually a celebrity or a public figure, and on a rare occasion, an ordinary citizen. And then would conduct a biography and on the subject in the television studio. And the purpose was the show to give everyone a better understanding of the person. And as part of the show, people would hide off on the side and say a line or a quote or tell a story about the particular person and give you an idea of who they were. And since I don't know any celebrities and I don't know any public figures to play This Is Your Life, we'll use an ordinary citizen like Erik for today. And we are going to relive Erik Chu's past. Okay? And so Erik, sit back, be uncomfortable, be comfortable for a few minutes. This is your life. This quote I'm about to read was said by a prep league coach, basketball coach. He said this about Erik. He said, Erik is the epitome of this quote. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dark. He said this to describe the way Erik plays the game of basketball. He went on to say that said this about Erik. This kid doesn't back down from any challenge. He's not afraid to get in there and stick his nose right in the middle of everything. He plays as if he doesn't care how tall the guy he is guarding. And I replied, well, he has no choice to care how tall the guy is guarding. Because when you're that size, everybody's bigger. Next quote. I didn't know you had a Steph Curry on your team. This quote came from the Edgewood coach after Erik went 9 for 9 from the three-point line in the first half against them. Erik was in the zone, right? And one of his three-pointers, he was fouled, and it went in. He looked over his teammates and gave him the same look LeBron gave when he went only 8 for 8 last night from the three-point line. One would think that when you're that hot and you go to the free throw line to shoot one, it would be a gimme. He missed. Just proved that Erik is human. All right, changing gears a little bit. I'm going to name off a couple TV personalities and see if you can get the connection. Serena Vander Woodson. Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. Blair Waldorf. Mark Cuban. Any guesses where these people came from? Shark Tank, yes. And? Gossip Girl, yes. Two of Erik's favorite shows. And because Erik was able to give me enough notice, I was able to write Gossip Girl fan website, which is called You Know You Love Me. And they sent me this certificate of appreciation to one of their favorite fans. And it reads, official member of the Gossip Girl, You Know Me, Love Me fan club, we recognize Erik in our careers, Exo, Serena, and Blair. It's my privilege to introduce Erik Day Shoot.
But at my back I always hear time's winged chariot hurrying near, and yonder all before us lie deserts of vast eternity. Thy beauty shall no more be found, nor in thy marble vault shall sound my echoing song. Then worms shall try that long preserved virginity, and your quaint honor turn to dust, and into ashes all my lust. The grave's a fine and private place, but none I think do their embrace. Andrew Marvel.
YOLO, Drake.
So, thank you, Mr. Dookie, for that lovely intro. Thank you, Mr. Posh, Mr. Shka. Thank you, Michael, and my sister. Alright, here we go. So, from kindergarten to 8th grade, every student in my elementary school was required to be in the school play. As fate would have it, my school plays in kindergarten and 1st grade had a prince in it. So by coincidence or not, I was chosen to play the prince in both plays. I was the cicada prince in Spiderella, and the prince and princess in the pea. You know, I remember pretty vividly standing up next to the young princess on a black stage, adorned in a red velvet robe and a plastic golden crown. You know, web administration actually called me a few times after my spectacular Oscar-worthy performance in Spiderella. It was a little something like, "Hello, is this Prince too?" And I was like, "Yes, it is he." And then he's like, "Yeah, this is Mr. Marshall from the Webb Schools. And as you might know, here at Webb, we recruit the finest young gentlemen to attend our school. We search far and wide every year for the greatest Principes non homines. And well, needless to say, you, sir, are Principe if I ever saw one." Now, being a 1st grader at the time, I wasn't quite sure what he was saying, but it sounded good. So, yeah, that's the story of how I chose my high school in 1st grade. But I always wondered why exactly I was chosen to be the prince. I was not the best actor, none of us were, as 9-year-olds. At first, I thought it had to have been my dashingly good looks and fashionably hip hair. I was notorious for having the best hair ever. I had the infamous bowl cut. So, if you aren't familiar with the bowl cut, basically it looks as if the barber took a bowl, placed it on top of my head, and cut along the edges to line my hair perfectly with the bowl. The older 6th grade girls would always chase me and try to squeeze my pudgy cheeks and ruffle with my neatly adjusted hair. Nothing frustrated me more than when my bangs were anything but perfectly straight.